Okay. Yesterday we discussed about miscellaneous transaction, right? Generally, why we use miscellaneous transactions? Generally, if you want to do any adjustment, like suppose you are implementing Fusion applications, you are importing your on-hand quantity into Fusion applications. Then to adjust your on-hand quantity, then you will go for uh, what is this miscellaneous receipts or miscellaneous issue. Depends on your requirement. You can do manual adjustment whether it's a issue or receipt. Okay, let me create. So this is the implementation user. Anyway, we are not using this implementation user is only to define setups. Let me connect one more session. This is the employee user. Okay, if you want to do any miscellaneous setup, miscellaneous receipts, go to navigator. System is slow. 1 second. It is little bit slow today. Okay, I am logging with a business user. Business user. Sorry. Okay, go to navigator. Here you can see all the access whatever the user is having. Warehouse operation. Go to warehouse operations. Go to inventory, and it will ask against which organization you are going to perform any transactions or any setups or transactions. Let me select our organization. So now we are in Tata Bangalore organization. See, these are the functions we can perform by using warehouse operation, like cycle count, shipments, inventory means here we will do what are these miscellaneous receipts, all the inventory transactions, pick slips, pick waves, and from here we can receive the material. Anyway, now we are discussing about transactions, right? Go to inventory. If once you select any function here on right corner, you can see the task available under that function. Click on that one. Here you can see. Yesterday we discussed all those things. Just create miscellaneous transactions. So select your transactions, miscellaneous receipts. Now I am importing my on-hand quantity. I am updating. If you select account at header level, so same account will default to all the lines. Or if you want, we can maintain for each line one different account. Anyway, let me enter material account. Something 141 material account. Okay. So what is the item? We created one item, and sub inventory stores. UOM is each. How much quantity you want to receive by using miscellaneous receipts. Some amount I entered. Here, if you see region, anyway, I will come back here. How to select regions, how to set up regions. I will show you after this creating miscellaneous receipts. So submit. Okay. So now I am in inventory, right? Here in first page itself, you can see the on-hand quantity. See, manage item quantities. Search with your item. Item is item 1, organization, search. See, this is the item, on-hand quantity is 99. You can drill down further level also. If you are using any lot, serial, control, all those things here you can see. Anyway, this item is not lot control or serial control, right? That's why these tabs are disabled. Okay. Just click on sub inventory, go to sub inventory level. Suppose this item is having under 2-3 sub inventories, here it will list all the sub inventories. Now I am having item in only one sub inventory, right? It's showing only one. So this is the form where you can see the your on-hand quantity. Okay. Next, move to sub-inventory transactions. Generally, why we will use sub-inventory transactions? Whenever if you want transfer the material between two sub-inventories, then you will go for sub-inventory transfer. Sub-inventory within the, you can, by using sub-inventory transaction type, you can transfer material within between two sub-inventories within same organization, or between two locators within same sub-inventory. You can transfer material between two sub-inventories. That means I'm having sub-inventory, stores and staging. So if you want to transfer the material between these two sub-inventories within the same organization, then we will use sub-inventory transfer. Or within between two locators within same sub-inventory. So under this stores, I'm having two locators, locator 1, locator 2. To transfer the material between two locators, then we will go for sub-inventory transfer. Generally, best example is move order. Whenever you create any sales order, what we will do next, we will do pick release and pick confirm. So what will happen generally in picking process? Material will move from your store sub-inventory, store or finished goods, whatever it may be, your sub-inventory to it will material will move to staging sub-inventory. That is called. So in the here we are, what we are doing, we are transferring the material from one sub-inventory to this another sub-inventory. That is the best example for sub-inventory transaction. Let's see how we will do sub-inventory. So select inventory, warehouse operations, inventory. So please check currently which organization we are having under. Currently I'm in Bangalore organization. If you want to change your organization by clicking on change organization. Okay. Anyway, go to tasks, create sub-inventory transfer. Select your transaction type as, see here I am not seeing anything. Why? Because I selected sub-inventory transfer, right? We are having only one transaction, that is called sub-inventory transfer. Select sub-inventory transfer. Transaction type is sub-inventory transfer. Next, go to line 11, enter your details. I mean from which item, from which sub-inventory to which sub-inventory you want to transfer. I want to transfer this item from, currently this item we are having under stores, right? Stores. What is the sub-inventory? Destination is sub-inventory is something testing we created. Anyway, okay, let's select. So testing, how much quantity you want to transfer? I want to transfer 45. Submit your transaction. The transaction failed because transfer attributes could not be retrieved for the process. What is this? Let me create I don't know who created the testing. Let me create one sub-inventory, and we I think that sub-inventory is restricted to do any transactions. Let me open. So if you want to create sub-inventories, I logged in with implementation user. Go to, for the testing sub-inventory, transactions are restricting. Let me see why it's restricting. So go to implementation project, Tata implementation project, material management and logistic. Go to define warehouse administration. Go to define inventory management. Here you can see sub-inventory. Where is anywhere we are seeing sub-inventory and locators. Main is sub-inventory and locators. Manage sub-inventory and locators. That manage inventory locators. Yeah, manage sub-inventory and locators. Okay, select your organization. So this organization having two, one is store and one is testing. So but this testing transactions are restricting. Let me open that one. Let's see. Okay, okay, fine. Okay. So here material status they given, right? See, let me complete first subinventory transaction. Our next topic is material status. By using material status, how we can restrict the transactions against this subinventory. That is our next topic. There we will see. See, based on this material status, we can restrict the transactions. That means while creating subinventory, we assign material status as testing, right? So this status is not allowing subinventory transfer for this subinventory. Okay. Let me, as of now, let it be keep. Let me complete subinventory transfer first. Then I will go for material status. Okay. Let me create one subinventory. Already we are having stores, right? Now we are seeing subinventory transfer. Now I am moving material from stores to staging. So I am creating one subinventory staging. Staging. Material status active. Subinventory type, storage or receiving. Storage receiving means you can see. For example, you created one purchase order. Now you are receiving the material. Storage subinventory means just before moving your material to actual subinventory, you will receive the material into some storage area. There you will do some what this quality checks, all those things. Then you will move the material from receiving area to subinventory. So here what exactly difference is if you define any subinventory as a receiving, whatever the items available under that receiving, those things will not be available as your on hand quantity. System will not consider those items, those quantity is an available quantity. See, like that, see, because of that, if you see, if I selected receiving, here you can see quantity tracked is unchecked. If I enable storage, here you can see quantity tracked is checked. System will consider whatever the on-hand quantity available under storage subinventory, only those quantity only will system will consider. Receiving area quantity, system will not consider as a on-hand quantity. So once you receive the material into your receiving subinventory, then you have to transfer the material from receiving subinventory to storage subinventory. Okay, that is the concept here. Okay, let me select storage only. Save. So I created two subinventories. One is stores, one is staging. Save and close. Done. Okay, now I am connecting to business user, employee. Here is the employee. Go to warehouse operations, inventory. Select inventory here. Go to right corner. Here you can see the task list. Create subinventory transfer. So select transaction type as subinventory transfer and add your items. I mean line level transactions. I'm transferring this material from staging to stores. Currently this item is available under stores to staging. How much quantity we are transferring? For example, 45. Submit. See, now system is allowed to do the transactions, but against to the testing subinventory, system is not allowing. Why? Because based on material status, we are restricting some transactions against to subinventory. I will show you now. Let me complete subinventory. Okay. Now you can verify your transaction. I mean on hand quantity, whether it's transferred or not. Your item is item 1, organization, search. See, at organization level, we are having 99 quantity, but under store subinventory, 54. Under staging, just now we transferred material, right? 45. 45 quantity, you can see under staging. Like this, we will do material, subinventory transactions. Subinventory transaction is used to transfer material between two subinventories within same organization, or to transfer material within locators within a subinventory between two locators. Okay, for those two purposes we can use sub-inventory transfer. Any questions here?
No, Rishi.
Okay. Okay, anyway, before, what is our next inter-org transfer, right? Okay, before going this one, let's discuss few more things. Like whatever just now I showed, right? Material status is restricting to do some transactions against that sub-inventory. We will see those concepts, okay, now. Okay. See here, sorry. Let me log into employee user. See here, I'm in employee user. Let me click on first create miscellaneous transactions. Here, if I go to here, I'm able to select all these types, right? How these types are coming. See, that means Oracle predefined these types, right? Transaction types are Oracle predefined. They provided few of the transaction types, but we can create our own types also. See, generally, this transaction type is a combination of transaction type. It is a combination of transaction source plus transaction action. Generally, why we will use transaction type? Transaction type is used to classify your transaction. That means whether you are going to miscellaneous issue, miscellaneous receipt, sub-inventory transfer, or PO receipt, or sales order issue. For the just to classify your transactions, we will use the transaction type. Transaction type, how we will define? It is a combination of transaction source and transaction action. Transaction source is nothing but suppose if you are receiving material, that means PO receipts. What is the source for that one? PO is the source. Now I am transferring the material. I am shipping the material. That means what is the source for shipping? Sales order. Based on sales order, I am shipping the material. So like that, you have to specify what is the source. Suppose if I want to create any new transaction, you have to specify what is the source. You can define any number of sources. Okay. What is the transaction? Transaction action. These are the predefined actions. So you have to use predefined whatever Oracle provided, right? Those actions only you have to use. Like you are receiving the material into your sub-inventory, that is one action. Or you are issuing out the material from your sub-inventory, that is one more action. Issue is one action, receiving is one action. So it depends on your transaction type. You have to define your transaction source plus transaction action. Transaction type is a combination of transaction source plus transaction action. Let's take one example. Suppose what is this? Our organization, they are manufacturing some items, okay, XYZ items. Every year, for example, maybe every quarter or every year, they are donating. Donating few items to the charities. Okay, so they are donating means what we are doing here? We are issuing the material from our sub-inventory to the charities. So to track all these donations, we have a customer asked to create one new transaction type just to track all your donations. So what we have to do now? You have to create one new transaction type as a, let's say example, charity issue to charity. This is my new transaction type. So that whatever material I transfer by using this transaction type, user can easily understand, okay, this is we used for to issue the material for charities. Okay, this is my transaction type. What is the source for transaction type? Charity. For example, charity plus. So we have to create transaction type and the source also we have to create as a charity plus. What we are doing, what is the action we are performing here? We are issuing out. We are issuing material from our sub-inventory. That means, what is that action here? Issue from stores. Issue from stores. These actions are predefined one. You have to use predefined one. You can't create new one. These are predefined one. So my transaction type is, just transaction type is a user-friendly name. You can give any name. Depends on your requirement. So now my transaction name is issue to charity. Transaction source is I am using as a charity Transaction action is, it is a predefined one. We have to use issue from stores. We are issuing material from our stores. This is our requirement. Okay, let me create this one new custom transaction type, and let's create what is this one transaction. So if you want to do the setup, what we have to do? We have to log in with implementation user, right? Let me log in with implementation user. This is the implementation user. Go to our project, material management and logistics, define warehouse administrations, define inventory management. This is the navigation. Okay. Material management, module name is material management, define warehouse administration, define inventory management. Search for transaction sources and types. Material, yeah, manage inventory transaction sources and types. Select that one. This is the task name. See here you can see transaction sources, purchase order. So whenever you are receiving the material at that time, source is purchase order. Suppose you are issuing the material through sales order, you are shipping the material. That time source is sales order. Account alias cycle count. Suppose you are doing any adjustment after doing cycle count, you have to adjust the on-hand quantity, right? Depends on your cycle count or physical inventory results. So that time source is cycle count or physical inventory. If you are receiving any RMS return items, then source is RMA. Like this, Oracle provided few predefined one. If you want, you can create your new one also. Okay, let me create new. This is the transaction source. First we have to create. Why? Because transaction type is a combination of source plus action. Let me create source. Okay, data charity. Save. Okay, where it is? Okay, somewhere maybe it's available. So we created Tata Charity. Then we have to create. You no need to create actions. Why? Because we have to use existing one only. What is our transaction type? Issue to charity. Issue to charity. This is my transaction type. Description. So here you have to select what is the action you are performing. Whether your sub-inventory transfer means you are transferring material from between sub-inventories. Direct and in transit, these two are inter-organization transfer. To transfer the material from one organization to another organizations. Issue from store means you are issuing the material out of your store. Receipt into stores means you are receiving the material. But in our transaction, what we are doing? We are issuing the stores. We are issuing the material to the charities. Okay, select that one. I will come back, enable status control, all those things. This status control, right? Just now we discussed that. For testing one, transactions are listing, right? That is depends on status. Anyway, I will be back again. Save and close. Okay, we create a transaction source as a what is this charity, and transaction type as a issue to charity. Let me save and close. Okay. Now let me go to business user. Cancel. Try to create one new transactions. Create miscellaneous transaction. Go to search with your recently created one. See now issue to charity. So now you can, what you can do, enter your data and do your transactions. Okay, this is how you can create your transaction types. You can create any number of transaction types, depends on your requirement, or if you want existing transactions, you can use, if that is sufficient. Okay, while creating transactions, you can see one reason, right? Miscellaneous receipt, miscellaneous receipts. See, if you go at line level, here some regions are available. So that means while you performing any transactions, you can specify why you are performing these transactions. So before you have, before to choose your transactions, first you have to define regions. Let's see, define three regions, one or two regions. See, for example, a material is theft. Okay, so actually my on-hand quantity is 100, but in my system, actually my system is showing 100. But if you go to actual on-hand quantity in sub-inventory, it's showing as 90. So just for example, I am saying, so 10 items are theft. Now what we have to do? We have to do one miscellaneous issue, and we have to residue the material in system, right? So now I will enter here item, and I will do the miscellaneous issue. So while doing these transactions, we will select why you are performing these transactions, whether it is theft or rejected donations or damaged goods, depends on your requirement. You have to define all the regions. Let me create few regions. Okay, I will show you where we will create regions. Again, same path. Material management, warehouse administration, inventory management. Here somewhere you can see material transaction regions. Yeah, manage inventory transaction regions. Okay, let me create few regions. Data. Suppose it's a what is theft or damage, let's say. Okay, theft. Description. Save and create one more region. Donations. Just this is optional setup. Save and close. Okay, now come here. I log in as the business user. Go to task, miscellaneous receipts. Now select miscellaneous issue. So I am issuing the material from out of source, out of our sub inventory. So select your item. What is the organization, from which organization you are doing? For example, see here, whenever you select items, and below system will show you what is the currently on hand quantity in this organization. Now once if I select stores, sorry, or anyway staging, now system is showing what is the current on hand quantity under this staging. Currently we are having 45. Now I am issuing 9 quantity from stores. What is the reason? Whether it's a theft or you are donating these 9 items to any organizations. Suppose this is for 9 items are theft. That's why only just I am doing manual adjustment in system. Okay, submit. Please provide attribute account. Okay. So like this, you can create any number of regions, depends on your requirement. You can create any number of transaction types, or you can create any number of regions, depends on your requirement. Submit. See, now what is the on-hand quantity in staging? System automatically updated the transaction quantity. Earlier 45, now it's 36. Any questions here? Yeah. So you can create any number of transaction types, any number of transaction regions, but it purely depends on your requirement. Okay, next go to manage item transaction defaults. This one we will use just for defaulting the sub inventory while doing any transactions. So here what we will do is we will set up a default sub inventory particularly to the item. What is the default sub-inventory while doing any transactions. Let me open this form. So transaction defaults, it will specify the default sub-inventory or locator for a specific item. It is item specific. Whenever I am performing any transactions against to this item, whatever in sub-inventory or locator here I provided, that information will default to the transaction. Let me create one. Okay. Now my item is data item 1 defaults. While doing miscellaneous receipts, you are performing, you want default or movement request or receiving or shipping or sub-inventory. Again, you have to specify only for miscellaneous receipts. What is the default sub-inventory? Stores. Anyway, here we are not using locators, right? As of now, we didn't create any locator. That's why this field is grayed out. What it means is, if while performing miscellaneous receipt, if I select item as item 1, system automatically default the sub-inventory as stores. But if I select any sub-inventory transfer, system will not default any sub-inventory. Why? Because this setup is a combination of item plus your transaction type here, your transaction source. Here I am selecting only for miscellaneous receipts. If I perform miscellaneous receipts, and if I selected any, if I select item as item 1, then only will system default as a sub-inventory as a store. Okay, these are the system defaults. These are the item and your transaction specific one. Save. So now here we are defaulting the sub-inventory only for item 1 and for miscellaneous receipts. Let me perform one miscellaneous receipts. Okay, connect to business user, employee 1, create miscellaneous transactions. Let me miscellaneous receipt, right? Miscellaneous receipts. Now select transaction type as item. Item. See, system defaulted the stores as the sub inventory. If you want, you can change. Okay, like this you can use. You will use your default types. Just default transactions. Where it is? Transaction defaults are used to default the sub inventory or locator whenever you are performing any specific transaction against to specific item. These defaults are specific to item only. Okay, let me perform other transaction. Let's see whether it will default or not. Let me perform miscellaneous sub-inventory transfer. Create sub-inventory transfer. Let me select sub-inventory transfer and enter your item. See, now item is not defaulting anything. Any sub-inventory or locator. If it has to default, you have to come here and define your for sub-inventory transfer also. If particular for those particular items, you have to define defaults. These are the transaction defaults. Transaction defaults are used to default the sub-inventory or locator when to a specific item for a particular transaction. Okay. Anyway, let me cancel. Fine. Okay, now go to material status. Material status. What is material status? By using material status, we can restrict the transactions against sub-inventory. We can restrict the transactions. See, if I come here, where is that one? Now I am under Bangalore organization. Let me create one miscellaneous transactions. I can choose any one sub-inventory as a stores. And I can do any type of transaction under that one. Miscellaneous issue or miscellaneous receipts or sub-inventory transfer or account alias or recently we created Tata issue to charity. Any type of transactions I can do from store sub-inventory. But I want to restrict few transactions against to sub-inventory. How we will restrict the transactions against to sub-inventory? By using material status. By using material status, we can restrict the transactions against to any sub-inventory. Okay, and even what is this? We can restrict whether the items are available under that sub-inventory is available for reservations or is available for reservation. Those type of restrictions also we can do by using material transactions. Material status. Generally, material status control levels are 4 levels. One is at sub-inventory level. Okay. Second one is locator level. Third one is lot level. Fourth one is serial number level. Material status are used to restrict the transactions. Okay. At 4 levels, we can assign the material status. One is sub-inventory level, one is locator level, one is lot level, one is serial level. At 4 levels, we will restrict the material. We will restrict the transactions by using material status. Okay, let's take one example. Okay. So if you take any organization, obviously few damaged goods are available, right? Any organization, few damaged goods are available. So those damaged goods, you are, for example, let's say you are storing one sub-inventory. Your sub-inventory name is damaged. Okay. All your damaged goods you are storing under damaged sub-inventory. Now from this sub-inventory, you have to restrict the user to transfer the material from this sub-inventory. So why you have to restrict? Suppose if you didn't provide any restrictions, what will happen? User can transfer the material from damaged sub-inventory to the customer locations, or he can do any type of transactions. That's the reason now here our goal is we are maintaining all the damaged items in one sub-inventory. That sub-inventory name is damaged. There we are restricting the user to do we are restricting the user to do any transactions like issuing the material from this sub-inventory. We are restricting the user. Okay, that is our goal. Okay, first let's create one status, material status. Again, navigation is same, material management, define warehouse, define inventory management. Material status, select material status. Okay, create new, select one, Tata damage. At how many levels we can maintain? How many levels we can use this material status? 4 levels. Here you can see sub-inventory, locator, lot and serial. So you have to specify. So I am using this status at a sub-inventory level. So if I select sub-inventory level, that means you can't use this status under the serial level or lot level or locator level. Anyway, next I will show you this one. Just I will show you one example so that you will understand. Now at this point of time, this damage status we are using at sub-inventory level. So that means whatever items available under this sub-inventory, those all are considered as a damaged items, and yes, those are damaged items. I am not allowing reservations or netting or ATP, promise date, to calculate promise dates. I am not allowing any of these options for this sub-inventory. Why? Because these are damaged items. System is not, we can't transfer these items to the customer side. That's the reason I am not allowing any reservations. Come here, transactions. Here system will list up all the transactions, allowed and disallowed. That means whatever transactions available in this section, you can perform all those type of transactions against to this material status. But what we have to do here, what is our requirement? We have to restrict all the transactions. So what are the transactions we have to restrict? For example, receipts, sales order issue. That means we are not issuing out the material. and I am restricting account alias, cycle count, sub-inventory transfer also, miscellaneous issue. We are we are restricting the user to do miscellaneous receipts, but allow miscellaneous. Let me transfer all. Just I am allowing miscellaneous receipts. Why? Because where is that miscellaneous receipt? Miscellaneous receipt. Why? Because we have to see actually material is available under our store sub inventory, for example. So suppose if I found it is damaged inventory, now I have to transfer the material to damaged sub inventory, right? That means I have to receive the material into our damaged inventory. That's the reason I am allowing only miscellaneous receipt to receive the material, but I am not allowing any other transactions. If you perform any miscellaneous issue, that means if you are trying to issue the material from the sub inventory, system will throw the error. So like this, we will restrict the transaction types against to the sub inventory. Anyway, let me save this one. So we created item status. Save and close. Let me create one sub inventory. Again here, yeah, here only it's available. Same navigation, manage sub inventory and locators. So damaged sub inventory I am using only to receive the damaged sub inventories. Okay. Sorry, damaged material. Damaged. Okay, system is not allowing because of I think only 9 characters it's allowing. Okay, anyway, save. Oh, sorry. While creating, open this one. Here material status available, right? So our material status, what level we are maintaining? Tata damage at sub inventory level. That's the reason here we can see this status. Suppose if I am using this status under serial level, then those type of status you can't see here. While creating the serial numbers, there only you can see. But here my material status I am maintaining at sub inventory level, right? That's the reason in list of values you can see. Anyway, next time I will create one more status and I will show you damage status. So what we defined under material status? So what will happen now? What exactly system behavior? Under the sub inventory, we are restricting all the transactions except miscellaneous receipt. Only we can receive the material into this sub inventory. We can't issue out or we can't do any other type of transactions against to the sub inventory. How we are restricting? By using material status. While defining material status, we selected allowed transactions as only miscellaneous receipt, and not allowed transactions we listed all remaining transactions. Save. Now try to create one miscellaneous receipt. Done. Okay, let me connect to employee. Now I am transferring the material, damaged material from stores to what is this? My damaged sub inventory. So for that one I am doing miscellaneous. Just let's say let me do miscellaneous receipts. Miscellaneous receipts. So in my damaged sub inventory, let's say for example I am having 9 items. Select damage. Let's see whether system is allowing or not to do miscellaneous receipts. Okay, so go to account, select one account. Okay, submit. So system successfully allowed me to do miscellaneous receipts against this damaged sub inventory. Why? Because when selecting the status, we mentioned allow miscellaneous receipts. Let me search for on-hand quantity. Here you can search. Item is this one. Search. See, my damaged sub inventory updated with 99 quantity. Okay. Now we will try to issue the material from this damaged sub-inventory. Let's see whether system is allowing or not. Create miscellaneous transactions. Go to miscellaneous issue. That means I am issuing out the material from this damaged sub-inventory. Search. Just click search. See, here even I am unable to see the damaged sub-inventory. Why? Because miscellaneous issue is not allowed for damaged sub-inventory. That's the reason in list of values itself we are unable to see our sub-inventory. Are getting my point? If you see here only we are having two sub-inventories, staging and store. My damaged sub-inventory system is not showing. Why? Because miscellaneous issue is not allowed for damaged sub-inventory. Any questions? Like this we will restrict the material status. By using material status we will restrict the transactions. Cancel. Any questions? Please let me know. Anyway, let me take one more example, then we will go for if you have any questions. See, I am having one more inventory, scrap. Scrap means whatever the items available under that sub inventory we can't use for any purpose. It is scrap, right? So what I will do is I will create one material status as a scrap, and I am not allowing any type of transactions for that material status, and I will assign this material status to the sub inventory so that we cannot perform any type of transactions in that sub inventory. Okay, let me create one. Now just for example I am giving you, suppose if you don't want to allow any type of transactions, how you will perform? Manage status, create one status, data scrap. Okay, description, I am using at sub inventory level and I am not allowing any type of transactions. So in disallow section I transferred all. Allow section we are not having any. That means we cannot perform any type of transactions. Okay, and create one more. We will maintain at serial level. Okay, data serial number status. Just for example I am creating. This is at serial level, right? So if we are usage, if we mention at usage at serial level, that means this status we can't use at sub inventory level. You have to specify where you are using this one. Now this status I am using at serial level, serial number generation level. Only at serial number only I can use this status. I can't use for sub inventory level. Let's see whether system will show this status or not at sub inventory level. Okay. Okay, just click on OK. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Save and close. Now I created two status. Let me create one new sub inventory. Manage sub inventory and locators. Create new. Scrap. Now go to status. So as per our discussion, system has to show only scrap material status. System is not allowing us to select what is one more serial number status. Let's see. See here, you can see only scrap. Let me search for statuses. Data. Search for data. Advanced. Just select, go click on advanced. Material status put as a is not blank, so that system will display all the values. Search. See now how many are seeing? Active, awaiting, testing, something, raw material, rejected, damage and scrap. But what about one more, Tata serial number status? Here we are unable to see. Why? Because we are maintaining, we are using that status at serial level, serial number level, not at sub inventory level. That's the reason here you are unable to see the material status at sub inventory level. So while creating the status, you have to specify at what level you are going to use. Mainly we can control the status at 4 levels: sub inventory, locator, lot, and serial. Now only this damage and scrap we are maintaining at sub inventory level. That means our usage is at sub inventory level. That's the reason we can see only these two. And one more is usage we selected as a serial number, serial level. That's the reason we are unable to see that status here. Okay, let me select scrap. Save. So now I created one more sub inventory, right? Just log into business user and try to do some transactions organized with that sub inventory. Any type of transactions. Anyway, earlier for damaged, we allowed miscellaneous receipts, right? Now try to do miscellaneous receipts for this one. Miscellaneous receipt, whether system is allowing or not. See, here we are unable to see that one. Tata scrap. Why? Because any type of transactions we are not allowing. But why damage sub inventory is coming? We are allowing only miscellaneous receipts. We are allowing for this sub inventory. That's the reason system is showed sub inventory as Tata damage here. So like this, depends on your requirement. You can restrict the transactions by using material status. That is the purpose of material status. Mainly material status you use to restrict the transactions, and also you can restrict whether those whatever items are available under the sub inventory or under the lot or locator. So you can restrict those items for reservation also, and for also netting. And you can also restrict it what type of transactions you are going to perform and what type of transactions you are restricting. All those things you can mention, you can define by using material status. That is called material status control. Any questions? Now let me know please if you are having any questions. Any questions? Hello? Hello?
No questions, Rishi.
So you understand, right? What is the purpose of material status?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Please let me know if anyone having any questions. Just material status you use to restrict the materials, and also we can restrict the reservations, nettable, all those options we can restrict based on material status. We can specify while defining material status, we will specify what are the transactions we are going to allow and what are the transactions we are not allowing. So again, material status usage is at 4 levels: locator, sub inventory, locator, lot, serial number. Depends on usage, depends on your requirement. You have to select usage at what level you are going to use that material status. Okay. Anyway, now we done lot of transactions, right? Where we can see all our transactions. Go to task, same inventory, go to task, review completed transactions. Like in Artpad also we can see that all our completed transactions. Here is the search window. Organization is this one. If you search like this, it will show all the transactions against this organizations. Anyway, we are having only one item as of now. Let me select item and transaction date. I am selecting transaction date from 7th to 9th. Okay. And again, you can restrict with sub inventory, source. Anyway, if you want to just try all these things. Just I provided some inputs and click on search. See, now you can see all the transactions, whatever you performed today. Sub-inventory transfer, miscellaneous issue, sub-inventory transfer, miscellaneous receipt, miscellaneous receipts. And if you want to see the hidden columns, go to view, columns, show all. I don't think is there any hidden columns. All are available. Against supplementary, we can see the accounts. Here we can see the region also. One transaction we entered, right? Theft as a region. We can see all those things. And transfer organization, we performed what is this supplementary transfer. That's the region. Here it's showing what is the transfer, all those things. We can see complete information. Plus quantity means we are issuing the material. Sorry, minus means we are issuing item is we are issuing the material from our supplementary. Plus means we are receiving the material. See here also you can see transaction actions. See supplementary transfer. See minus, right? Minus 9 means issuing from stores. Receipt into stores plus 99. Receipt into stores plus 99. You can see complete information here. Okay. Just go and verify all those things. This is the transaction ID, unique ID to identify the transaction. Just click on this one. You can see, you can review your complete transactions. What is the item? What is the quantity? What is the organization? What is the staging what is the sub inventory? Complete information here available. Okay. Any questions?
No questions received from my end.
Okay, fine. Then if you are having not any question, let's move to next topic. Inter-organization transfer. Generally, why we'll use inter-organization? To transfer the material between two inventory organizations. That means we can transfer by using inter-organization transfer. We can transfer the material between two organizations. Let's assume I am having two organizations, ARG1 and ARG2. So item 1 is available under organization 1, but there is we notice that there is a shortage of item on organization 2. Instead of buying from suppliers again, what we can do is we can transfer the material from organization 1 to organization 2. That is called inter-organization transfer. Inter-organization transfer we will use to transfer the material from one inventory organization to another another organization. If you want to perform inter-organization transfer, items should be available under both organizations. That means while whatever item you are going to perform, before performing sub-inventory transactions, you have to assign that item under these two organizations. Okay. And what is one more setup? One more setup is required to perform the sub-inventory transaction is we have to define inter-organization parameters. Inter-organization parameters. This is one more setup required. Here we will specify what is the relation between organization ARG1 and ARG2. Here, while defining inter-arg parameters, we will specify the relationship between ARG1 and ARG2. See, mainly while defining inter-arg parameters, mainly few things we have to define. Transfer.
Second, I have a small doubt. Yeah, small doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, you said like if an item is not available in one org, we are going to transfer it from another org, right?
Yes, on-hand quantity.
Yeah, but you are telling both items should be available in both the organization. Again,
No. See, I am having master. I am having ARG1 and ARG2. See, while creating the items, you have to first assign the items, right? See, if I want to use the item, first what I have to do, I have to assign the item to organizations. So that is the point I mentioned.
Okay.
That item should be available means that item should assign to the organizations. Then only you can do any transactions or whatever you want. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay. While creating inter-organization parameters, mainly we have to do few setups in parameters. I mean inter-organization parameters. One is transfer type. One is transfer type. Mainly we are having two transfer types. One is direct and one is in transit. When we will go for direct, suppose, sorry, someone speaking. Okay. Suppose if transportation time is very less, that means both distance between between two organizations are very less, then we will go for direct. And if transportation time is significant, then we will go for in transit transfer type. So depends on your requirement, you have to choose while defining the parameters, organization parameters, whether you will go for direct or transit. If transportation time is very less, then we will go for direct. So once if we transfer the material from source to destination, with system automatically create the receipt at a destination organization. If we select direct, if we select in transit type, if we transfer from source to destination, again at destination level, manually you have to receive the material. But in direct case, system automatically create the receipts. But in transit, you have to generate the receipt at the destination organization manually. Depends on your receipt type, you have to generate. Anyway, we will see those things. This is the transfer type, and one more thing is receipt routing. Anyway, just now I mentioned that we have to create receipt routing. How you will, while creating receipt, how many types we are having receipt routings? Direct, standard, and inspection required. So those three we will see while discussing in what is this PO. Anyway, just give me some introduction. Direct means you can directly receive the material. That means you can receive and transfer the material to the your actual sub-inventory. Standard means first you will receive the material. It is a two-step process. Direct is a single-step process. Receive and transfer the material to your sub-inventory. Standard means first you have to receive the material into receiving area. There you will perform some preliminary quality checks. Then you will transfer the material to your actual sub-inventory, means stores in our case. Inspection required means inspection required. This is one more type, one more receipt routing, inspection required. So first, this is a three-step process. This is one, this is two, this is three-step process. First, we will receive the material. Then our quality people will verify the quality, all those stuff they will do. Whatever accepted quantity, we will, suppose I received 10 quantity, okay? First what we will do, we will receive the material into our receiving section. Our quality peoples will do quality analysis. So for example, out of 10, only 5 passed the quality checks. Then those 5 we will transfer to the stores. Remaining 5 we will transfer to, to supplier. So this is a three-step process. Direct is directly just receive and transfer the material. Standard means first we will receive the material. There we will do basic quality checks under receiving area. Then we will transfer the material to stores sub-inventory, our actual sub-inventory. In inspection required, it is a three-step process. First we will receive the material. We will do quality analysis. Then depends on our quality results, we will transfer the material to stores, or it may be to supplier also. That means we are returning the material to supplier. Okay, mainly these two are you have to specify while defining inter-organization parameters. Okay, and also one more thing is, I think FOB here it's not required. Anyway, let me, I didn't remember FOB is required or not. Let me open the application. Okay, these are the steps you have to perform. These are the prerequisite setup. What is the prerequisite setup? You have to first create inter-organization parameter. Okay. Steps. What are the steps we have to follow to perform this complete cycle? First, what we have to do? First of all, we have to create two organizations. At this point of time, we are having only one, right? So first one, create two organizations. So once we will create organization system, what we will do? System will generate data roles. So if you assign those data roles to the user, then only user having access to your organization 1 and organization 2, right? Just now, what are the things we have? First, we have to create two organizations. One is data org1 and data org2. Okay. First step is create inventory organizations. Once I will create the inventory organization, system what will do? System will generate the data roles. System will generate the data roles. If you assign those data roles to the user, then only user can perform any transactions against to these two organizations. So next step is assign data roles to user. Okay. Next, what we have to do? We have to create sub-inventory. If you want to do any transactions, at least one sub-inventory is mandatory. So without sub-inventory, you can't perform any transactions. For every organization, at least we have to maintain at least one sub-inventory. So create sub-inventory. Fourth step. This is first step 1. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 4. Create inter-organization parameters. Create inter-organization parameters. So while creating inter-organization parameters, what we have to specify? What is the transfer type you are going to use to transfer the material between organization 1 and organization 2, whether it is a direct transfer or in-transit transfer. And also you will specify what is the receipt routing you are following, whether it's a direct, standard, inspection required. These two things you will specify while defining inter-organization parameter for organization 1 and organization 2. Here we will specify relation between organization 1 and organization 2. So create inter-organization parameters. So step 5. See, now I transferred the material from organization 1 to organization 2, right? That means at organization 2 level, I have to receive the material. So if you want to receive the material, you have to complete one predefined setup, that is create receiving parameters. In Artwall also, if you want to perform any, you want to create any receipts or receiving the material, you must complete the receiving parameters. Receiving parameters. Here we will specify our what is the receipt number and what is the receipt routing we are going to use. Lot of stuff, lot of information available. We will see once we open the application. Create receiving parameters at destination level. Suppose if you are transferring the material from arg2 to arg1, then at what is the destination? Arg1 is the destination. We have to create receiving parameters at arg1 level. Now in this case, we are transferring the material from arg1 to arg2. So at arg2 level, we have to create the receiving parameters for arg2. This is the 5th step. Then what we have to do next? We have to create at least one item, right? So now I created one organization. Can I directly go and create item for under that organization? Can someone tell me? Now I created two organization. I assigned roles to the user. So can I create the items under these two? Anyone?
You have to provide permissions to.
Yes. What we have to do? We have to provide permission to item class particular to the organization, to the user. Okay. Provide access to item class for above created arts to user. Then only you can create the items. These permissions are related to organization level permissions. While if you remember, if you open item class, we will specify username and also organization. So that means if you want to provide permissions for arg1 and arg2, you have to two times you have to give permissions. One is for arg1, one is for arg2. So now user can able to create the items. These are the setups we have to perform before performing the inter-organization transfer. Then we can perform direct transfer, and we will see in transit. Both we will see in transit transfer. So if you want to perform these two cycles, direct and in transit, prerequisite all these things you have to complete. So any questions here? We will stop session here. Tomorrow we will create this one. So please let me know if you people are having any questions.
No, Rishi, I am good.
Okay, fine. Tomorrow you people are coming, or depends on spirit, depends on you peoples.
Can we have this session by Monday itself? Because I will be traveling.
Okay, no issues. That's an see, weekend is optional. That is purely depends on you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, then we will meet on Monday same time, 7 to between 7 or 7:15. Okay.
Okay, Rishi. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks all. See you Monday. Bye.
Bye.